I hope she knows that she can go after her passion.
Yeah.
And not be held back by anything that society tells her.
That's so huge.
Yes.
We're Sahara and Michaela, co-founders of Refine Marketing.
From corporate 9-to-5s to building and scaling multiple million-dollar companies in less than 5 years, we're not afraid to get into the nitty-gritty.
Giving you a raw and real look at what it takes to build and sustain a business.
This is Rise and Refine.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
We have our coffees this morning, and yeah, we're going to jump right into it because it's an interesting topic today. Sahara's going to talk about all things mom.
Yes, we're going to talk about what it's like being a working mom today.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited to talk about because I feel like it's such a good subject.
I'm excited to learn from you. I have nothing to give for this
Learn
one.
my mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, you always throw me off, so I get to throw you off.
I thought we were jumping right in.
I know. Real quick, how would you rate your coffee on a scale of 1 to 10 this morning?
Oh, it's always a 10 here. Sahara has this bougie coffee maker and she does all the things. And yeah, it's always...
Is it good?
It's expert quality.
Yay, that's what I like to hear. It's my secret passion. So we're going to jump right in and just kind of talk about like, if you're not a mom yet and you're working, I'm sure there's like Michaela's at, I'm sure there's a lot of like questioning of what it's going to be like for a lot of people, but to those who are just maybe starting a business, a little bit nervous. If you've been a stay-at-home mom before, maybe now you're jumping into starting a business, what it's going to be like, and just maybe you're on maternity leave and you just had a baby and you have to go back to work. I mean, there's so much. So what's it like being a working mom?
Yeah. So let's get started with your story. And some of our listeners know, some people know that you have a 3-year-old daughter.
Yeah, she turns 3 in like 5 days.
I know. It's so crazy.
So crazy.
So tell us a little bit about your backstory first.
Yes.
And did you ever want to be a mom?
Yeah. Actually, what's funny is I'm the oldest out of 5 kids. So I love kids, but I'm way older than my siblings. And so I kind of felt like growing up, I was like their second mom. I'm sure a lot of like older siblings can relate to that. You're the older sibling, right?
Yeah.
But you're not way older.
No, we're like, my mom lovingly says 22 months apart.
Yes. Okay. So it's me. And then the next one is 4 years younger. And then I can't do math right now, but the youngest of the 5 is 13 years apart from me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, I saw my youngest sister being born and it traumatized me. And I will not talk about that graphically on this podcast. But so I was seeing that actually traumatized me from wanting to have kids only because I didn't want to go through that.
Okay. That makes sense. I mean, heck, if I saw that at 13, I would be freaked out too.
Oh, I know. Right. And so anyways, I always wanted kids. I don't know why people thought I didn't. I was just always like, because I grew up, we kind of talked about this on the last episode, with less money. I didn't want kids till financially I felt in a place where I would not be stressed. And I'm not saying everybody has to wait till that. That was just like in my head. I wanted to. So we were married for 10 years before we had, we were together for 10 years, married for 7, 8.
Holy cow.
Yeah, before we had.
I didn't realize y'all got married so young.
At 19.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Yes. So,
I feel like I knew that, but that just caught me off guard.
It always catches me off guard too. So we got married very, very young. And we knew we wanted to wait to have kids, which a lot of people get married young, end up having kids pretty early. And my family is asking constantly. I was always like, we're going to wait until we're financially ready. We just had to be in that place.
Yeah.
So I had Maeve when I was 27.
Okay. So my age.
Yes, your age.
Which is crazy because I can't even imagine having a kid right now with everything that we're doing.
Yes. And we had her, she was planned, which was nice. I did not want any surprises, but it was not, I had Maeve I was pregnant the first year I started my business.
Your real estate team?
Yes.
Okay.
So she's grown up with me. Isn't that cool?
That
As
is
a business
very neat.
owner. Everything we built our house that year. I started my team that year and I had a baby that year.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
So
I moved
literally
9 months
the
pregnant.
Trifecta.
Yes.
Oh
Yes,
my gosh.
I was exhausted.
I can't even imagine.
Yes. So that was a lot. But yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking to go from making six figures to giving that up to starting a business and having a baby, when this whole time I said I'm going to wait till I'm financially like in a specific spot.
Isn't that funny how that happens? You say one thing and then it's like, no, I think I
Yeah.
have something better for you.
Yeah.
We're going to do it this way.
Yeah, which it was still fine. Trevor was making money. So it wasn't like, financially it was bad or anything. So
Right.
we felt comfortable. But I also was like, I don't know. You just feel ready one day, and when you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm ready to have a child. So anyways, we had Maeve, and yeah, it's been kind of cool because I got to start my business the same year I was pregnant. And then she's just grown up with me as a business working mom. I've always been working, but she's got to kind of see me, even though she's only been like a baby, but she's always known me to go to work.
Yeah.
And so there's so much. I mean, what do you feel like you would want to know being a working mom? Like, what's something that pops into your head? Like, is there something that makes you nervous?
I mean, I think the entire idea makes me nervous to an extent, but I grew up with a working mom.
So you saw an example.
I saw,
Yeah.
a firsthand example of the sacrifices that my mom made for us and how she constantly gave to provide. And so I think one of my biggest questions for you is, now that Maeve is about to turn
Yes.
3, how has her growing up impacted your growth in the business? Or have you had to, maybe another way to put that is, have you had to rethink certain launches within your business? Have you had to rework some things because you knew that you wanted to be a present mom as well?
I think that, for me personally, if it's caused me to be able to really focus when I'm working more, like not slack off, because the way that I do it is like, I don't want to not grow as fast as anyone else because I'm a mom, but I also want to be present. Right. And so I know you have to put in the hours and the work when you're starting out a business. And I knew that, but I also still wanted to be present with her. So I got
how did
really
you balance that?
well, I got really good at like, when I work and I focus and I get my to-do list done and I knock it out, and I don't like,
Do you have set hours, or is it basically, is it
I'm
based
very
off her
scheduled.
schedule?
It's based off of my schedule, and I kind of fit her in. And now that she's getting older, that's having to adjust a little bit, because they start doing more things. Like, right after this, I'm going to her dance class real quick. And because you have to make time. I will say this, like, you have to choose to make time. Like, I'm very blessed, and I want to say this before we get too far into it. I do have a wonderful full-time nanny.
Okay.
And I have family members here that live here.
So you have a strong village.
Strong village.
Yeah.
It would be so much more difficult if I did not have that help. I take Maeve to work some days and love her, but she is like me, very squirrely all over the place and wants attention. And so it's very hard to work with her around. Cause she's still in that stage, but so I have a lot of help.
She's a 3-year-old.
She's a 3-year-old. She wants me. So I have a lot of help, and I just don't know what I would do without it. So I think that's obviously affected my business in a good way, because I do have help, but I'm very scheduled. So it's funny, we leave our 9 to 5s to then become and work one, because I'm basically 9 to 5 again in my own business.
Right.
So I work Monday through Friday.
9 to 5.
9 to 5,
in
8
your
to
own
5
business.
in my own business. And that's just what works for my life right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm off, I'm off. But having a business does give me the luxury of being able to do things like today, being present to take her. I don't take her to dance every week. I just can't. But I do want to make time to take her every once in a while and surprise her with that and get to see her and be a mom. Just like yesterday, I took her to school. Things like that. I still make time for throughout the week, but I'm super scheduled. I work when I work, and when I'm off, I'm off.
You're off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you say you're taking her to school, I mean, her school is at normal hours because she's in like pre-K right now. So when she actually gets into elementary school, middle school, I'm sure that will change, and you'll probably be a little bit more
all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
she goes in at like what, 9,
Yes.
10?
Yeah. We drop her off at school at 9, and she gets out at 1.
Yeah. So a little funky.
Yeah. She only goes to that 2 days a week. But you have to be willing to adjust your schedule and be okay with that. The thing that has thrown me off the most about being a working mom is I'm going to apologize to all the working moms before I became one. Let me just put that on record. Christina always laughs, one of my good friends, about this, because before I became a mom, I was a boss. I was a leader.
At a very young age.
Yes, at a very young age. I don't think I had the empathy that I needed, because I honestly thought people use their kids as excuses. Oh. That's like my honest thing, because people would always say their kid was sick. I was like, Aunt, no way. Your kid is always sick. Like, no way. Why are you calling out again?
Yeah.
But I just put these things in my head.
Yeah.
Nobody taught me like, no, I have kids. It says how it is. Nobody told me that. And so anyways, what's thrown me off the most is becoming a working mom and seeing that those aren't excuses. Like, kids get sick all the dang time.
Yeah. They catch little things all the time from other kids with their grubby hands.
Yes. And it throws your whole schedule off. Because not only do you have to take care of them, and you have to then take them to the doctor and cancel your day, and you want to be there for them when they're sick, but then you get sick.
Yeah.
So
that's happened so many times, even in just owning Refined.
So many times. So I apologize to all the moms
building up their little immune systems.
Yes. But that's the biggest thing that's been hard for me, is like when you own a business and you're so scheduled,
you're adjusting to that change.
And your whole thing gets thrown off. Like, a lot of times I'm meetings with people, and canceling on people hurts my core.
Yeah.
But when your kid is sick, you have to.
Right.
Because all they want is mommy.
Yeah.
Right? Or they want daddy. And someone's going to be there. They don't want anybody else other than one of those people.
Yeah.
And so that was a big adjustment for me, because I am not a schedule thrown off type of person.
Yeah. What has been one of the biggest blessings that has come out of becoming a working mom? And maybe it's, I don't know. I know that you talk with a lot of other working moms on how to navigate motherhood, new motherhood, or different stages of raising children and growing a business. So what is one of the most rewarding things?
Well, I think, when it comes to navigating motherhood, I don't think anyone could teach that. I think we all just figure it out day by day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no direct path. Every child is different. Every situation is different. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. Like, we fail and we grow and we learn. So I just want to touch on that for a second and then go back to your question. So I think for you grew up with a working mom, so you saw that example. For me, I grew up with a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
And my whole family, I love them so much. But my whole family has always been like, when you have a kid, why don't you just take off work? Why don't you just spend 2 years not working? Like, we don't understand why you can't be a stay-at-home mom. Like, that's what you should do. Like, that's just what society tells you. And that's okay. That's how they grew up. So I never had an example of a family that had a working mom where the mom was successful and still a good mom. Like, you always hear or see in movies how one of the parents works and they're a bad parent because they never spend time with their kids. Like, that's what I grew up with.
It's kind of ingrained in us. Yeah.
Yes. So for me, what's been the most rewarding is that I feel like I've been able so far to balance being present and have a really good relationship, even though she's only 3. But she knows when I'm off work, and I take time and vacation with her and off days with her, and I take her places. And I feel like I'm also as successful as I can be right now.
Right.
Right. And so to me, it feels good to know that I'm running a successful business and still taking my daughter to dance today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I've never had any examples of that. And I've only seen people tell me that doesn't work that way, or you're not going to have a good relationship with your daughter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So to know that I'm balancing a good relationship with her so far. I mean, I can't make promises when she's a teenager. I know how sassy they get. But so far, to know that she's not angry at me for working. Like, sometimes she gets sad, obviously. Like, she misses me.
Yeah.
But she gets very excited when she's off. And she'll always ask me, you don't see this, but she goes, this is her thing. So mommy, are you done with work today? Yes, baby, I am. She goes, yay. Now it's me and you.
Oh,
I know. So she knows.
Yeah.
And so that's been really rewarding to see me be able to build that business and still be present for her, and that it's possible.
Yeah. So kind of going off of that, what are some of the things that you hope are instilled within her by being a working mom and showing her that example that it is possible?
I mean, obviously, I hope that she's just like me. So bad. Me and Christina say that Reagan and Maeve are going to replace us one day.
Honestly, they probably will. They're two little superhumans.
Yes. I hope that she grows up knowing that she gets to see me live out my passion and what I was meant to do while still having the best relationship with her. I want
that she can do that too.
Yeah. I want did you ever watch Gilmore Girls?
Oh, I love Gilmore Girls. I
Yeah.
rewatch that almost every fall.
I've always admired, even though it's a TV show, the way they built that mom and daughter relationship.
Yeah, I see that.
Yes. So I've always wanted a relationship like that, but where we're still just as close and we're best friends. Sometimes Trevor, my husband, says me and Maeve are too much best friends, and I need to tell her no. So
No comment.
no comment on that. But that beautiful like friendship that I believe you can have with your child while still having the respect to being a parent.
Yeah.
So I hope she always grows up seeing that, but I hope she knows that she can go after her passion
Yeah.
and not be held back by anything that society tells her.
That's so huge.
Yes.
That's so big though.
We want them to have that, right?
Well, exactly. But I mean, you don't hear a lot of people talk about that.
Yeah.
And the fact that you are creating an environment for her to succeed. We
Yes.
talk about that all the time.
Yes.
And that's part of our own
Yes.
whys. And
Yes.
that's all in an
Yes.
episode that you can go back and listen to.
Yeah.
But creating an environment for you and your kids to succeed
Yes.
in and actually be
Yes.
able to pour into them and surround them with people
Yeah.
who are good influences.
Yes.
Talk about that. Talk about the influence your team has had on Maeve and
Yeah.
maybe the people that you bring into your home.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's so important. I think to have such a great support system, but, support system doesn't also have to be blood. Like
Right.
Maeve is surrounded. Honestly, that child is so blessed with the people she's surrounded by. Right. And it's all about who you start with putting in your life yourself. Right. And I have a pretty small circle, even though I'm surrounded by lots of people, but I'm very picky about who's in my life, who's around Maeve. And I make sure to be very cautious of that. But it is nice because I have so many other working moms around me. It's so awesome
Yeah.
that it's so great too to have their kids around Maeve and, just that they're doing it, I'm doing it, and to have that support system.
Yeah.
Because you kind of need that person you can talk to that's in a similar boat as you, where you can kind of just hash out, how you're feeling and all of that. So Maeve's surrounded by, so many entrepreneurs and really powerful, strong women, which I love. I love that for her. And so the fact that she gets to grow up being around so many like strong, independent, successful women is just so exciting. And I hope
so
she
exciting.
takes that, and instead of growing up, I mean, obviously she's going to grow up very privileged. I can't deny that.
Yeah.
So I hope she, even though she may grow up more privileged than I did, I hope that she understands it still took hard work.
Yeah.
And that's something I think that's going to be my biggest challenge.
Okay. That was one of my questions.
Yeah.
Like, because you are so successful at such a young age, at being 30 and having, multiple $1 million companies and your husband also having a very lucrative e-commerce business. How are you navigating that piece with, obviously she's seeing you work every day, but also still wanting to instill.
I don't know how I'm going to navigate that. She's only 3, so I haven't had to figure that out yet. Our greatest challenge is going to be, I grew up having to work for everything I wanted. Like I paid for my first car. I paid for my food after school. Like if I wanted to go out to eat, I had to pay for that. You know, I grew up paying for my own stuff. Obviously, Maeve's not going to grow up like that. That girl can have what she wants. But it's, I don't know. I think that I haven't had it. I think about that all the time, but I'm not in a place in life yet where I need to start establishing certain habits and see what that looks like. But I think that's going to be a big challenge for me.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous about that aspect of it.
I think you'll navigate it well, though.
Yeah. Hopefully she just sees me work hard. I always tell her too. I try to explain to her now, and I don't know if this is right or wrong. You know, I may get backlash for this. I don't care. There's no right or wrong in parenthood.
Yeah.
But I do, even though she's young now, I do try to tell her she'll, like we're taking her to Disney at the end of this year. Sometimes if she gets sad, she's like, hey, mommy, you know, don't go to work today. I'll say, well, you know why you're so blessed and you get to go to Disney is because mommy worked so hard for you. And if I go to work, that's how I am able to pay for things for you. And I do this because I do it for you so that I can give you these things. So, and I try to tell her that now. So she actually kind of understands it a little bit. She'll stop, like, in a sense, complaining. She's like, okay. Yeah. She goes, well, I want to go to Disney. So, okay.
Yeah.
So,
she's not quite grasping it, but she's understanding the concept that money just doesn't fall out of the thin air. It takes work and it takes hard work to get the things that we want in life. That's what you're really trying to get to.
That's what I'm trying to get to her. So I kind of sometimes will say things to her like that so she understands. But I think it's important they understand like why they have the things that they do and they get to do the things that they do.
Oh, most definitely.
So I hope she just grows up seeing me work for those things and understands it. That's going to be a challenge.
That is going to be a challenge. I will learn from your mistakes.
Please do, because that's going to be a very big challenge. But I don't know. I feel like if you just become very scheduled and focused, and you become present, and it's a choice to become present. It's a choice for me to leave today and take her dance class. It's a choice for me to take off time to take her to school. It's a choice for me to put down my phone and take off on work. It's a choice for me to go to vacation. If you make those choices, that is, you have to be very mindful of being present or you won't be present at all.
Oh, there's a tip. Yeah,
yes,
definitely. So what are some habits that you had to learn in navigating the first 3 years of, you know, you're a new mom, navigating those first 3 years of motherhood and growing and scaling not one, but multiple businesses.
Yes.
What are some practical habits that you might be able to share that have helped you?
Practical is get really, really good at time management. It's no longer an excuse you're not good at it. You just have to accept it.
And what are some ways that you...
Calendar. We did a whole episode on that, right?
Yep.
So go back and listen to that episode. But like, I am the time management queen.
Yeah.
And so you have to get really good at time management or you're not going to get things done. I had to learn to write things down.
Yes. See, I'm a planner girl and Sahara is all about the digital notebooks.
Yes. When I say write things down too, you can do on digital, but like I used to be the type, I don't know if you ever were, or be like, don't worry, I can remember everything. I never took notes.
No.
Okay. Well, I wasn't like that. I was like, oh, it's in my brain. I got it. I have this like advanced brain. I won't forget. That's not true.
I don't know. It kind of is true.
No. I forget. If I don't write it down, I will not get it done. And so I had to learn to write it down. Okay. And so that I would make sure I got it done. And then I had to learn how to actually take off days.
That's huge.
Yes. So that was another thing. I put off days back into my schedule.
So when do you schedule off days into your calendar? Do you have an off day a week?
Yeah.
A couple off days
Well, I'm back
month?
to doing the 9 to 5 schedule.
Okay.
So I have Saturday and Sunday off. And then I schedule my vacations out.
How far in advance out?
Sometimes we do surprise weekend trips. I don't necessarily need to schedule those, but if I see that a Monday or a Friday is looking very like lower for me, like I don't have as many meetings, I will actually schedule a fun little weekend trip for us. And I've gotten good at doing those.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to live in an area where we have so many cities, so short distance. So we always get to go to those small cities. But vacation wise, we always have our yearly June beach one. That's always on the books. And then typically like 90 days out. I need something to look forward to. I need to know that I'm working hard and that I'm about to have like 10 days off with her.
So it's really more of like a reward system. Like, you put in the work quarterly.
Yes.
So we're to say every 90 days you have some sort of quarterly.
Yeah. Every 90 days, we're probably going somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you put in the work for 90 days and you know that when you put in the work, you are going to be rewarded, but also refreshed.
Yes.
And given the opportunity to spend that quality time, intentional time with your daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is very, 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 very important to schedule those. And I personally, my personality, a lot of people are like, just do a staycation. Mm-hmm. I would love to do that. I cannot see my office. That's my own mental thing.
And your office is in your house.
Yeah. Well, I have two offices, the one of, my office and then my house office. If I am at home, I will want to work.
Okay. I'm the same way.
Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I have to physically leave.
That's why I go to my parents so often.
You do. I have to physically leave my home to actually want to be off.
Yeah.
So, just that's me. I guess some people maybe, or I would want to start home projects. I'd be like, okay, I'm not working, but I'm going to do laundry or I'm going to start spring cleaning. And it's like, no, it's not about that. It's about Maeve.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. And that again, for our listeners, that is specifically what has worked for Sahara.
Yeah.
And learning those new habits and instilling them in what has continuously worked for her.
There's no right or wrong way to necessarily, I guess, be a working mom.
Yeah.
There's just like the way that works for you and your schedule.
Yeah.
And we just figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I have no.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward though to the teenager years.
Oh, I can't even imagine. What's one of the biggest mindset switches that you had to have when I know you talked about how you're a little bit more empathetic?
This is what I wanted to talk about.
Okay, good.
There, it came back. To slow down. Okay. You know me, I am like, go. Like, you would think like, we may need to cut this out, but you think I do this on crack or something.
She does. She goes balls to the wall on every project.
Yes.
And it's a lot all at once.
So I've always been that way. That's just my personality. I mean, I've had a job since I was 14, right? And so I've always been go. And I'm still learning this, but I've definitely had to learn to slow down and be more present. And it's something I still need to work on, to be honest. I like your toenail color.
Oh, thanks.
That's a very pretty,
like a
light blue.
periwinkle light blue.
Yes. Well, we're not going to zoom in on her feet because we don't know where that'll show up. But it's very pretty. Okay, but anyways, squirrel.
Don't look too hard. He might see a toe
Let me
hair.
check the time. Okay, we got like 4 minutes. That's fine. So, but I've had to learn to slow down.
Yeah.
And take a step back, and that not everything has to get done ASAP. And that Christina, she told me this the other day. Actually, she told me this Monday. I'll tell this story.
Okay.
This will be a good place. This is like real life. I just got back from New York. I took a sister's trip. Me and my sisters have always wanted to go to New York together. I had been twice, but they had never been. And it was like one of my goals. So I work hard is so that I could take them. Like that just meant a lot to me. So I have not been on a vacation without a child or without it being for work. And since I had Maeve.
So 3 years.
Yeah. Well, really 4, because not when I was pregnant either.
Oh, wow. Okay. So 4 years.
Yeah.
Of just you time.
Yes. So I was very nervous because it almost feels wrong.
Like selfish.
Yeah. Like selfish.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I wish I didn't have that feeling, but that's how it felt.
Yeah.
Right. Like
almost like mom guilt. Like I don't know what mom.
There's
I haven't felt mom guilt.
Oh,
obviously.
you just wait till you feel mom guilt. That's a whole hour-long episode. We need another mom on that to talk about. But mom guilt is a whole big thing. We'll talk about another episode. But yeah, I just felt a lot of mom guilt. A lot of like, well, I shouldn't be leaving if it's not for work or if it's not taking me. But I did it. So I came back Sunday night. So Monday, I tried to take off like half the day, but still work. And I just got hit on Monday with like thing after thing for work.
Yeah.
And then Maeve's like, she hadn't seen me in like 5 full days. And she's like screaming at me for the first time, like, you know, wanting to spend time with me. She's crying. And I almost had a panic attack.
Oh.
Because I was like, I have so much work. I don't know how I'm going to get this done. And I have to catch up, but I want to spend time with Maeve. I haven't seen her. I don't know what to do. Like, I just felt like I was pushed in a corner.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave and take her to lunch. Just take her to lunch. So I called Christina, my friend, on my way to lunch. And she goes, Sahara, nothing's going to burn down. Spend time with your daughter. She misses you. What do you think is going to burn down? I get that you have a lot to do and you're very stressed out. It's okay. Just breathe. Nothing's going to burn down if you take off one more day to see her.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I took the rest of the day off and nothing burned down.
Good for you.
But that's stressful. Like when you have all this work built up and you finally do something for yourself and you come back, it's like, oh my gosh, I have all this work. I haven't seen her. What did I do to myself?
Yeah.
But it was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah. It was
and
okay.
it's all here. It's all still standing. But yeah.
You just
I
don't
can't
want to
even
work
imagine.
so hard for something and
You don't want to let her
yeah.
down.
Yeah. And you don't want to let yourself and your business down and everything you worked for.
Right.
Like I sacrificed so much missing out on time with her to build my business.
Right.
If it falls down because I make a mistake, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And that's real life.
That's the
raw and real right there.
Yes.
Doesn't
I
get
probably
more-
convinced people out of being working moms by the end of this episode.
No, but I think that's the beauty of this episode is
Yeah.
that it's as real as it's going to get.
Yes.
And it's your experience. It's what you've given to her. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yes. Well, I
Very
hope
much
that
so.
a lot of you who are working moms realize it's possible.
And that
you
you're
can do
not
it.
alone.
Yes. And that you're not alone. And that, ask us any questions, but just know that you'll be a working mom one day. And I'm already here
God
being
willing.
a working mom. So we'll make it happen. And that's all that matters. And we're showing up for our children. And I think they really do appreciate us working hard for them.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
All right. End us out.
All right. Well, Sahara has to take
I have
Maeve
to get Maeve to dance class now.
So we are going to end it. But if you like this episode, subscribe to us on YouTube or leave us a comment, send us a DM. We'd love to know how you liked it. And
Yes.
if you have any questions for Sahara, please send them in.
Yes.
But happy Monday. We hope you guys
Monday.
have a great week.
See you next Monday.